Alright, it's time for another episode of Nintendo Power. This is Gray Fox 37.
Pikachu 23.
Eggplant Sexual 76.
So yes, Ardith has come over today, and we're going to be reviewing issue 12 of Nintendo Power.
We have a special guest today.
Kitty.
Fox got me this orange kitty.
Yep.
And I named it Jed after Cowboy Bebop.
So basically, it's the day after Pikachu's birthday. So we're having a celebration today, and this is the Super C edition. So there's going to be some fun preview stuff in this. Final Fantasy is going to be in this. They're going to have some pretty cool artwork. Unfortunately, we don't have the 36-page top secret tips or anything, but there's going to be some awesome games on the horizon that'll be coming up in a few issues after we plow through like 4 strategy guides upcoming.
And I love the Rambo-inspired art here.
Oh, hell yeah. Really nice. So let's get to it. So, of course, we've got our wonderful, Nintendo Power insert ad where it's like, get the power, yeah!
Yay!
So, table of contents. We're going to open up with Final Fantasy, then Super C, which is the sequel to Contra, then Dino Wars, and then Codename Viper, and then Barai Fighter.
Dinosaurs!
Then remember last time we did the Nestor Awards, we're going to see who their winners are. Got new games on the horizon, Game Boy stuff, strategy guide update, there'll be a Howard and Nestor comic, of course. And then we've got some stuff on the horizon for Ninja Gaiden 2, my favorite. Star Tropics, which is a cult classic. Golgo 13, The Moffat Conspiracy, which is an anime. And my favorite Nintendo RPG of all time, Crystallis. A mutant creature story sets the stage for the post-apocalyptic nuclear war magic and mystery adventure. Oh yeah. Alright, so if you want to pause there, you can read the mailbox for you there, so you'll basically be doing, you can do that there and read up on that. They've got their video spotlight. Now, the pages are a little off on my screen, so some of it's cut off because my, TV's kind of got some borders that are awkward. So let's get to the fun. There's the front cover of the very first Final Fantasy game for America. I love the artwork of the Red Mage there, just kind of how he looks like a mercenary there.
Kind of looks like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Or should I say a vaquero?
And then I love the thief that's got the eye patch and stuff. So I remember, oh man, it was like yesterday. I remember one day, my brother and I, we were sitting around in the basement to our doctor's office in Texas, I want to say. And we were checking into things, and then what happened was that we found that there was a copy of Final Fantasy down there, so we played it for a bit. About a couple days later, in KB's toy store, of all places, we found a boxed copy of Final Fantasy that had the booklet in it, the maps, the little analysis and everything, $20.
Wow.
So we were just like, yeah, let's get it. So Mom actually got it for us, and that started our obsession with it, basically. Then fast forward to when we're living in Colorado, and all of a sudden I'm coming home. My brother's like, hey, what do you have there? Oh, I've got and this is before I knew it was 4, I've got Final Fantasy 2 in my hand for the Super Nintendo. Oh, they made another one? Apparently they did. Okay, let's play it. And that became my favorite Final Fantasy of all time.
Yeah, right?
By the way, kiddos, fun fact, if you've ever had a PSP with a copy of Dissidia 012 Duodecim on it, the guy with the horned hat, the sword, and the shield is actually the warrior class from this game, the Hero of Light, who, by the way, may or may not be the child of the goddess Gaia, who's the main leader, hero person for that game, and the dark god at the end, the one who kicks everybody's ass, Chaos. That's the final form of Garland when he absorbs the magic of the crystals, goes back in time, becomes Chaos, and time loop shenanigans.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Oh, and the big asshole with the shadowy armor and that gigantic buster sword that's totally not compensating more than Cloud. That's Garland before he becomes Chaos.
Ooh.
So that's actually very true. So what's funny here is that speaking of which, I love how it mentions Canaria, which is the city of dreams and whatnot, because playing Final Fantasy 14, there's an illusion in that game. I've been addicted to 14 big time. Well, we both have, yeah. And then
I said, love that game.
Oh yeah. Then the fall of Garland. Garland is the Garlandians are actually the Empire.
Oh
in Final
yeah,
Fantasy
I was like,
14.
that sounds familiar.
So Garland's basically the knight that used to be a part of Corneria that kidnaps the princess. But then later on, we find out things are much, much worse.
Yes.
And by the way, since we're talking about Canaria, do a barrel roll. I can't let you do that, Fox.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Switching to all range mode. Okay.
Oh.
Star Fox. So anyway, across the bridge waits a new land. So basically after you beat Garland, they build a bridge across and they play the awesome prologue music, which is great. Then you got the witch Matoya, and unfortunately they make her look ugly in this. Matoya is actually a younger witch that's actually pretty hot, but she just has trouble with seeing without her orb and everything. And then her brooms say backwards, or they say push B select but backwards. So don't forget that. Then you head over to the village where you basically get the pirates and you beat a pirate captain and you get a ship. You go across the inner sea and you can check out a couple things. So you head over to the city of the elves. Got to wake them up because Astos unfortunately took over or put a sleeping spell on him. Now what's really cool is Astos, his character model is used as the dark elf in the magnetic cave in Final Fantasy IV. So it's so cool to see that again.
You said Matoya speaks her spells backwards?
Her brooms do. They're like push B select, and then if you do that, what happens is it brings up the world map. What's up?
I'm guessing she's related to Zatanna then. I guess she's still looking for her dad after all these years.
Oh.
Now the Marsh Cave, I'll tell you this, we got this super hard version. Like if you play the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy 1, it's a lot easier, but the Nintendo version is really tough, especially like the Marsh Cave. Like even though it's like the first true dungeon, it is extremely tough. Like I was in there at like level 8 and getting obliterated. It was crazy.
Oh.
Wasn't it possible in this game to run into the Omega weapon that early?
Omega Weapon wasn't in this game. You're talking about Warmech.
That's the one, Warmech.
Warmech was in the Mirage Tower, yeah. And I remember when we were watching that, when Awesome Games Done Quick was actually good, I remember we were watching that dual playthrough of Final Fantasy, and we were like, Warmech! I was like, yeah. Because you can get the Mass Immune from him, which is better than Excalibur, and any character can wield it too.
Yep.
Nice.
So then you awaken the prince, and then he'll, open up more of the world, trying to find the TNT, all that stuff. Get to the Earth Cave to find the, the Lich, and then basically find the canoe, the heart of the volcano.
I didn't know the Ninja Turtles were in this game.
Yeah, so this is kind of like little tidbits of things. Now, there's going to be a Final Fantasy strategy guide in a few issues that'll basically cover all this. But I love the artwork that Nintendo Power did for this, especially for the airship there. That is so cool.
Kind of reminds me of the Red Wings from FF4.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Any kid from the 80s remembers that shit.
Oh yeah, man, that is just, oh man, Final Fantasy IV is just incredible.
Yeah, right.
I remember after we got done with the early stuff for Baron Castle, all of a sudden, we would just pause and listen to that overworld theme.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Plus, what did you think? Did you like it? Well, I loved it.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy Treasure Quest. How would you like to discover real treasure when you play Final Fantasy? If you enter the Final Fantasy Treasure Quest, that's exactly what you'll have a chance to do. And the treasure is out of this world. What would you say to taking your best friends on an actual treasure hunt weekend with mysteries to solve and treasure maps to follow and enemies to defeat, just like in Final Fantasy, but for real? Or how about winning an automatic suit of armor or the magical powers of that boy?
That's easy. Just go do a LARP.
It's like that. It's like the quest that they made for the Atari back in the 80s with that contest where they actually had real treasure prizes that were gold and everything, and then they had to stop it short because of Atari's financial problems. But man, that would be great. Now in Japan right now, they do have a Dragon Quest theme park where you can go around with like a digital coin and you can fight enemies like on digital screens and then like get treasure and things. You see, Japan,
so much fun.
Japan. I love how Japan takes their video games seriously. Like here, it's just a fad. Like it's either it used to be like a cult thing or like grow the fuck up sort of thing. And I get it. I don't take offense to that or anything. But now everybody's doing it. Like everybody's doing it. It's either like a fad, it's what's in, or you got like a bunch of people who, of course, it's like it's an excuse to show off tits or be in a hot tub. But anyway.
Oh, dude, if you think that's amazing, in North Korea, some of the top esports players are bigger than most of the celebrities in that country. I mean, we're talking kids who are so good, they get to date like models.
Wow.
Not even joking. North Korea is just that weird.
Oh yeah. I know. It's and of course that's every nerd's like dream there. But it's like, well, let me tell you something. The Koreans, at least, bathe.
And I don't know if I'll be here for like the Link to the Past Nintendo Power. So I'll just mention that if any of you remember, there was a contest. I forget what it was, but you would actually there would be a secret dungeon you were supposed to be able to find in Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, where they would leave a plaque and a memorial for your achievement. And apparently the kid who won it, I forget if he died before the contest was over or after, but apparently they supposedly got rid of the little Easter egg. Well, you can still find it, you're just going to have to do some data mining and hacking to do it.
Yeah, are you talking about that one room with that programmer in it? Or something like that? Yeah, I remember in Link to the Past, there was this bug that I found where the guards at the beginning of the game when it was raining started saying every single line in the entire game, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I remember it was like Josh Harrigan, or it was like something rather like with an H, and I was like, what the hell is that line? Like I was just like, where did that come from and everything? And then I finally discovered what it was a programmer's room, and right, I remember that. So it's cool that you brought that up. That's issue 34, I want to say, which is another good one. Plus, that has the third episode of the Link to the Past comic, and that the American one. So, since you're here, I'll give you your Link to the Past manga back. Remember that.
Good idea.
I actually found the entire collection of the Viz Legend of Zelda mangas at Bookman's. Got them all for $35, collector's edition with the poster, and I even found the big collected one for Ocarina of Time, which has both of them combined into one graphic novel.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got lucky, man. I was rolling 20s that day.
Yeah, right.
So basically what we have here is 3 big challenges to keep you seeking special clues as you delve deeper into the game. So then you got the first one that says, what's the name of the dancer? So that's the dancer from Canaria. Then the second one is, how old was Erdrick when he died, from Dragon Quest? And then the third one, what is the value of the power staff? So basically, if you know the answers, give it away there. And then you got to fill out that card and everything of that nature there. So basically, the May June prizes: answer 3 questions from the May contest, and you're guaranteed to win an exclusive set of Final Fantasy Power decals for your controllers. That's cool.
That is cool.
And that's just the beginning. You may win one of the exquisitely designed and crafted power staffs. Imagine what you might achieve with a power suit or power staff of your own. Giant.
Whack.
I could have had something to hit my brother with rather than the cast. Yeah, I don't know, but did I ever tell that story over the mic?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll make it quick. So my brother sadly broke his arm one time when he was younger, and my brother would actually use his cast to beat me with it and stuff. We would be making fun of each other's siblings, you know how it is. So he would keep smacking me and leaving welts and mom and marks of his cast, and mom was really ticked off. So eventually my brother got the cast taken off, and then what happened was that So what happened was that she was like, they were looking at it, it's like, so what do you want to do with this? I said, actually, let me take that real quick. And I clocked him right across the head with it. And my mom, like, just looked at, like, Tom was all looking at my mom, like, you know, and then my mom was like, you get what you know, you reap what you sow, basically, you know, but then my mom was like, don't ever do that again, you could cause serious damage and stuff. I didn't hit him, like, super hard, but I clocked him a bit with it because I was just so angry with everything he did to me that whole summer, just smacking me with that cast. So.
He was basically pulling the Cody Rhodes on you.
He asked for it. Yeah. It's like you know, Paula Jones totally had it coming. Anyway. July-August prizes. If you discover the answers to the second contest and send them in, you may win one of 500 adventure packs filled with treasure. Ooh. And 2 lucky first prize winners will receive genuine full-size suits of armor, perfect for the battle of posing for snapshots. September-October prizes. By correctly answering the tough questions, you would win one of 100 beautifully crafted crystals. Or you could become, the grand prize winner. Imagine you and your best friends involved in a real adventure, piecing together clues, hunting through strange lands, and discovering treasure along the way. It's Final Fantasy Treasure Quest, as close as you can come to actually being in a fantasy adventure game. The entire quest will be professionally videotaped, with you and your friends in costumes from Final Fantasy, so you can relive the adventure for years to come. Are you up to it? Play Final Fantasy, find out. Now I'm curious if anybody uploaded that video on YouTube. Oh. We're going to have to search for that when we're done with this recording, because I am highly intrigued. I know it's going to be cheesy. I don't care about that. When you're a fucking kid and you have the opportunity to do something like that, I mean, I'd kill to do that. And even today, I know, like, I'm going to be 39 in 9 days, and I'm going to, like, salivating at an opportunity for that. You're in your 40s, and it's like, oh, sign me up.
Yeah, for me, it'd be like if I could go to Dark Souls just for one day.
There you go. I like Dragon Quest a lot more than Final Fantasy, but you know, like that Star Wars hotel that's coming out for Disney and everything. I mean, it's super expensive, like I figured and all, but they kind of got the right idea. Like I think this is going to be the way of the future, was just little things like this. I think theme parks are finally going to have more involvement like they have in Japan, because if you go to like Super Nintendo World over there and stuff like that, they really want you to get involved.
They have like a Star Wars Village or something at Disneyland. My sister was telling me about it today.
Oh, yeah, you can craft your own lightsaber and stuff.
But sadly, they have a ride of Rise of the Resistance. Oh god.
Yeah. They also basically have, like, you can pilot the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But you know, it's funny because like a lot of people are talking, oh, you're going to see a lot of adults dressed up and everything. It's like, well, that's the encouragement. This is our childhood, for Christ's sake. You know, this is what I mean. I was born in '82, a year before Return of the Jedi came out and stuff, and Ardith was born a year before Star Wars, the first Star Wars movie came out and stuff.
Well, actually, Mom was 9 months pregnant with me when the first one came out.
Yeah, so this is still stuff we grew up with, basically.
And I did too. My dad really loved Star Wars. I was one of those kids who basically, I just want to watch Pokemon. And one day I go up to my dad, can you give me the VHS tapes for Star Wars? What? I want to watch them. Okay.
So you know what we should do? Well, let's go ahead and send our Nintendo Power Final Fantasy Treasure Quest card. Let's send it to that P.O. box and have our mail return. or have Nintendo America write to us and say, hey, we just wanted to let you know that you're roughly about like 31 years late. Something of that nature. So here's Super C. So this is basically just a pan out of the maps, everything. Again, I love how they would just show like in-game maps of the games and everything of that nature. Just so much fun. Super C wasn't as awesome as the first Contra, but it was still a fun little game. There he's got an AK-47 there. That's awesome. And try posting that too. It's like, oh my god, they put a gun on it. Kind of like what they did with Solo, a Star Wars story, and they did away with the blaster in his hand. It's like, it's promoting violence.
The top-down sections of that game kind of remind me of Ikari Warriors.
Oh yeah.
With Ralph Clark and what's his name? Like Ralph Jones and Clark Steele. And yes, it's Clark Steele, not Clark Still, you fucking translators.
Then there's Dino Wars. I never played Dino Wars, but it kind of looks like a Mecha Godzilla game. I love that cockpit artwork there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's got to be, that's got to be based off an anime or something like that.
That flying pterodactyl, that kind of looks like Ridley.
It does, indeed.
Kind of like Samus wasn't returning his call, so we had to fight someone else.
Oops.
So here comes the second annual Nintendo Power Awards for 1989. So let's see who won. So best graphics and sound goes to Mega Man 2. I can definitely take that there. Mega Man 2 had a pretty good soundtrack there, so I can agree with that. Best challenge Ninja Gaiden, no, hands fucking down, yeah.
Yeah, pounding the pooper Ryu.
No kidding. Best theme fun, Ninja Turtles. Let's just say this. It could ultimately get frustrating, but, I mean, it's the Turtles, you know.
Yeah, just use Donatello.
Exactly. Best play control, Mega Man 2, I can go with that. Mega Man 2 had a very good control scheme, so I like that. Yeah. Best character, Link from Zelda to Adventure Link, I can roll with that. Link's a very iconic Nintendo character, so don't blame people there. Best ending Ninja Gaiden, I can agree with that. I mean, it's a full animated cutscene.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And for 1989 of all game times, you know, Tecmo was ahead of the time. Best player versus player Tecmo Bowl, oh hell yeah!
You know, I didn't even like football or football games, but I love Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, Tecmo's Super Bowl, when they actually put the players' names at that time in, like Joe Montana and whatnot, that was awesome. I loved just being able to, you could throw like 100-yard touchdown passes and stuff, but you don't care. You know, it's just so much fun to actually be able to play, and I'll tell you this, a lot of Madden people are going to hate me for this. I'm not an NFL fan, as people know. I'm a college football fan. I'll take Tecmo's Super Bowl any day over Madden. Any day over Madden. You know, Madden may have like the better graphics and play control, but it's sometimes the simplicity. It's kind of like with SimCity. SimCity 2000 is still my favorite SimCity, even though SimCity 4 gets very in depth with like I love the economy in SimCity 4, and I loved how you could name like every road finally. Like it's kind of like you're looking like at a top-down map of Google Maps, for example. But SimCity 2000, the isometric angles, just the simplicity of everything, like it's got a better budget than SimCity does, but just the overall fun of it and just the creating random maps and building within them, love it.
The difference between Tecmo Super Bowl and Madden is like the difference between Street Fighter Alpha 3 and Street Fighter 5.
Oh, I'd play Alpha 3 over 5 any day for sure. I mean, like I'll play Alpha 3 over 4 even. You know, I was not a big fan of 4 or 5, honestly.
Oh, 4 was such a...
5 has good music, but story awkward.
Yeah, I mean, of course they got the DLC, where you can put the girls in the bikinis and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I get it. And it's good that they do that because, with all this feminist bullshit going on today and everything, it's good that people at least want their, at least Japan wants their characters to be sexy. They get it. Yeah. You come over here, like when we were playing, Resurrected yesterday and zooming in on the Amazon, it's like,
don't look at the face.
Gag me at the freaking spoon.
Don't look at the face.
So the overall winner was Ninja Turtles. I really can't agree to that, unfortunately.
No.
I wanted Ninja Gaiden or Zelda 2 to make it. I mean, it's ironic. Zelda 2 actually happens to be in my top 3 of Zelda games, basically, ironically enough. It's just, I loved the darker plot to it, and it was a very, 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 how should I put this? It was very ingenious, basically, the way that they did that, because you're expecting a top-down, and then, like, part of it is, but then you fight side-scrolling. Now, if they redo it, what I think would be really cool is if they try to implement the hook shot some way, where you could actually pull it yourself, like, side-scrolling hook shot, kind of like Bionic Commando. Yeah. I think that would be so cool,
and the funny thing is, I think Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, kind of laid a lot of the groundwork for like a quasi-adventure action RPGs later on.
Oh yeah, Faxanadu, Battle of Olympus, I mean those were other 2 side-scrolling RPG styles and whatnot. And like I said, Faxanadu, even though it didn't get any love in this, unfortunately, Faxanadu is a very, despite its little bugs here or there, Faxanadu is a very good game, and the lore in that game series is phenomenal. I've actually been thinking of potentially doing like a pen and paper of that, basically, kind of linking Xanadu Next and Faxanadu together, because there's a huge kind of like ocean lake in it, and I could probably put the World Tree at one part of it, and then put the island in the other part and things of that nature. But I'm still kind of trying to work that out. But unfortunately, Artist Never is not really akin to the lore of it. But I know you can look it up.
Real quick before we continue, I was thinking we could do a little thing here where we say our favorite regular Mega Man song. Just go around real quick, not X, just the regular ones.
So you're talking about basically your favorite, like what your favorite Mega Man song is at the NES games?
Well, any of them that isn't X.
Oh no, that's NES. Yeah, okay. All right, you go ahead then.
I have a lot of them that I like personally. I'd have to say I'm kind of between Bright Man and Skull Man personally. And I have a little bit of love for the Proto Man Whistle song recently, because I found somebody who did it. It hurts my ears normally, but I found somebody who did it on a guitar, and it sounds amazing. So there you go.
What's your favorite Mega Man Nintendo game?
Ooh, I've never actually played any of them. But
really?
Yeah.
I thought you played a lot with one of our old roommates.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I watched Rez go through, I think, the first two, but it was years ago.
Oh, gotcha.
I really can't answer that because I don't know.
Well, three's my favorite. Everybody probably already knows that. How about you, Ardith? What are your favorite songs?
Probably Pharaoh Man Stage.
That's a good one.
Let me think. Who else? Pharaoh Man, Yamato Man, and ironically, probably Flash Man.
Oh wow! Well, I love how you guys have like a lot of Mega Man 4 themes there. That's funny. Yeah, there's a lot for me too. Like Mega Man 1, I love Cutman's theme. That's just an iconic song there. I also love the Wily Boss music from Mega Man 1. Like, I know it's repetitive, but it's just so twisted. It's like so technological and twisted.
Yeah, right.
And then I love it in X5 when you battle Black Devil and they play an updated version of the song. It's like, no way! I was like,
yeah! I forgot to mention, I also really like the Metal Man song.
Oh, Metal Man themes.
Yeah.
Plus, if you include the Game Boy games, I'd have to include Quint, the evil future Mega Man on a pogo.
Oh, yeah, right. Sasagarne, yeah.
Particularly, I like the Wily Wars version of Metal Man.
Oh, from the Genesis. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Then Mega Man 2, yeah. Metal Man's theme is really cool. Woodman's theme is awesome. Everybody loves, of course, Wily Stage 1 and 2. It's an iconic song there. The boss music, too, was pretty cool. Now, Mega Man 3, I really love, what was it? Trying to think of a Robot Master that I wrote, or a song that I really liked in that. I mean, Magnet Man's my favorite Robot Master in that game, but I wasn't really big on like a lot of the stage songs in that. I mean, they have good ones, but not ones that stand out. Now, Wily's theme 3 and 4,
really
that is probably like my all-time favorite Nintendo song there. That was just an amazing tune there. If you go to 4, I do love Drill Man's theme. That was a good one. I did love Dr. Cossack's theme. I love that. One. Mega Man 5, Proto Man's castle was just fucking awesome. Gravity Man's theme is really cool in that too. And then 6, I wasn't really huge on the soundtrack in 6, so I didn't really like 6 overall. Honestly, I think 4 and 6 were like the weakest out of the series there. 4 did introduce the Mega Buster, which was cool, but I really liked like 1, 2, 3, and 5 were really good though.
Oh, I think I know where you were confused with games. I did play a couple of the Battle Network games.
Oh, I knew it. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. So it's time for the Howard and Nestor comics. So basically, they're inside what looks like a laboratory.
Oh no!
And welcome to our research and development. Welcome to R&D, Nestor. I'd be happy if you. I'm happy that you could make it. Sure, glad to help. Ooh, excuse me. Glad to help you out. Yeah, we just had dinner. The NES the NES interface modulator allows us to go inside the games. It looks for bugs and test tips. That's pretty cool. That's why I'm here. Look out, insects. Nestor's here. Nestor the tester's on the job. He's got a beekeeping or bee net.
Yeah, and Howard seems to have familiar-looking raccoon ears and tail.
Oh, cool.
Well, not insect bugs, programming bugs that come in the interface. Come on, the interface is ready. Of course, I know. I just wanted to have make sure you knew that. So now they're getting zapped in. Howard and Nestor step in the machine for the interpolation, and then all of a sudden they find themselves in Mario 3.
Uh-oh.
Today we scheduled to check on the warp whistles. We can get one over here in the mini fortress. You have to use your head in here, and he's all jumping over the platforms with the pot of booze. What do you mean? I always use my head. You have to break that brick to get a leaf. No problem. Ouch! Actually, it hurts less if you punch it with your hand. So then they're all like bandaging him. Hurry up! I'm ready for takeoff. So they both have raccoon tails. Sorry, they don't seem to fit. Your head's too big. And then deep within the mini fortress, our bug hunters search for the warp whistle. I'm telling you, there's not enough runway. Sure there is. Flap harder. Oof! He runs into the wall. Once you're flying, keep going off the screen. When you disappear, keep flapping and move to the right. Then you can, when you can't go any farther, press up. This raccoon stuff is for birds. I'll just take this door. Oops! Now you try it. Quick, get the whistle and go to worlds 2, 3, and 4. Am I going to, am I growing or are these spikes dropping and then boink? Yeah. Are you okay? He's got a lump on his head. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm sure enjoying my head being used as a pincushion. You should try it. Stop bugging me, Tony. And then he's all like dropping a net on him. That's silly.
Mr. Stark, how many times do we have to tell you to stop goofing off an RD?
Go ahead, make Kenny's day.
Oh.
So he got like codename Viper, so he's got a Beretta there, and then he's got what looks like an MP5 with a really, really small magazine instead of a banana magazine. It looks like it's like a 15 round, like, just straight magazine there. So I never played codename Viper. Have you played it before, Ardith?
Nah. Does kind of look like a Russian attack from the arcade, though.
Yeah, or Rolling Thunder in a sense, yeah. So you guys can pause if you want to read up on that. There's still got Rising Thunder. Now, Barai Fighter was kind of like it's kind of like Gradius in a little bit of a sense, but you're like floating around in a jetpack basically. I played the Game Boy version of this game. It's pretty fun.
Oh, wasn't that the one where you could also like shoot in 8 different directions?
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly,
That's
which
great.
is pretty cool. So now we've made it to the top 30, which, part of it's cut off here. Now, Mario 3, of course, no surprise, jumps to number 1, and I can't blame him because it's hot off the press, and there you go. Number 2 is going to be,
I think that's Tetris.
No, that's what I was just going to say. So number 2 is Tetris, number 3 is Ninja Turtles. So basically, I know, Tetris just took the world by storm for a bit, they weren't kidding. So 4 and 5, like 4 is Zelda and 5 is Zelda 2, so that's pretty cool, they're back to back. 6 is Batman, which is awesome. Now 7's a shock. That's Shadowgate. So I'm really surprised that an adventure game managed to find its way in the top 10. So that's a record breaking there. And Shadowgate was a very good point-and-click adventure. I do prefer Deja Vu more because I'm more of the detective guy, but Shadowgate was just full of perils. And that's a game that we are going to play the full version and do all the deaths and everything, you name it. Number 8 is Super Mario 2, so Mario 2 still has some light breathing in it. Number 9 is Mega Man 2, and then number 10 is Ninja Gaiden. So aside from Tetris and Ninja Turtles, that's not that bad of a top 10, really.
Oh, Mario 2 still got some life into it until I found the POW block. And by the way, there's an excellent acoustic cover of the Super Mario Bros. 2 theme on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's actually really good. I was listening to that shit. I was like, damn, I can't wait to get Zach on this.
So, So number
Zach, not Boku.
Oh, different Zach. Okay.
different Zach. Oh, okay, gotcha. Number 11 is Dragon Warrior. That's cool. So Dragon Quest. Yeah. Number 12 is DuckTales. That's a good game. Number 13 is Double Dragon 2. That's my favorite. 14 is RoboCop
Yes.
Boo.
No.
I mean, well, the arcade
the
version's
game is-
cool. The arcade version's cool. The Nintendo version, forget it.
Yeah, go on.
15 is Tecmo Bowl. Sweet. 16 is Metroid. 17 is
Ooh.
Battle of Olympus. 18 is the original Mario Brothers, the one with the tube and stuff. That's so shocking that jumped up. 19 is Faxanadu. So Faxanadu's still hanging around, which is cool. 20 is Double Dragon. 21 Bionic Commando. 22 Paperboy. Meh. 23 Blaster Master, there you go. 24 Championship Bowling, I'll take your word for it. 25 Popeye, no thank you. 26 Legacy of the Wizard. 27 The Magic of Shazanade.
Sherazade.
Oh, Sherazade, thank you. 28 Back to the Future, no thank you.
Oh,
That
yeah,
game-
they-
hard
man.
nope.
Oh dear.
29
They failed
Rad
again.
Racer, I'll take that, and then 30 The Guardian Legends. So there's a couple of indie games that are kind of following Legacy of the Wizard and Guardian Legend out there, so it's pretty cool.
Fun fact: the NES Popeye game was lame, but the Atari 2600 version was amazing.
Which is kind of shocking considering.
Yeah.
So let's see, players picks Super Mario 3 or Ninja Turtles, Super Mario 3 and Super Mario 2. Then you got Mega Man 2 and Zelda 2 there. So then the pros picks Mario 3, and then you got Battle of Olympus, Shadowgate. Wow, holy
nice.
cow,
Yeah, cool.
Batman and Legend of Zelda. Then you got dealers picks Mario 3, Tetris, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Mario Brothers, and Legend of Zelda. So solid choices all around there. The pros tend to pick a lot of unknown games or like Dark Horse games. So that was actually a pretty cool pick for the top 5 there. So then here's new games available. So you got The Adventures of Lolo 3, so it's like a Bomberman clone basically. Mom's playing on the Nintendo for Mother's Day. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Dad's serving the dinner as the kids are all like reaching over. Junior, stop it. They keep shifting. I don't know why it's doing this. Rocket Ranger, Wheel of Fortune Family Edition. Oh, I wonder if they still have better fabulous prizes. Let's see, Tombs and Treasure. So you got that. That's the Lost City of Chickeniza.
Okay.
Or Chicheniza. Yeah, it looks like chicken,
Oh.
but Chichenia. Journey to Silas. And there's the poster, Final Fantasy. Oh yeah, that is a cool poster. So now we've got the Game Boy coming up here, and then we've got Batman on the Game Boy. We got Gargoyle's Quest, which was awesome. Firebrand, hell yeah.
Who, by the way, was one of the final bosses in SVC Chaos, along with the original goddess Athena from the original Athena game of the 1980s.
Huh. Then you got Quicks, so some puzzle games like Quicks. Then you got Dale and Opus. Oh yeah, that had a really odd front cover. Like the front cover makes that game look so cool, but then you play it and it's like, oh, it's just a puzzle game. Bases Loaded on the Game Boy. NFL Football on the Game Boy, which was just kind of like just as bad as playing those little digi games from the 80s. Fist of the North Star.
You
Oh,
a shock.
Ooh.
Then you got Shanghai there, so the popular game from the Far East. Double Dragon on the Game Boy, and then Wizards and Warriors X Fortress of Fear, which sadly was a really big letdown.
Oh man.
So now we got previews, and there's that awesome Ninja Gaiden 2 artwork.
Ooh.
Oh man, the comic I got, Ardith got me Strategy Guide for Christmas, and it's awesome because I used to own a copy of that, and I got it back in my hands. So I can't wait to get to that issue because there's a comic in it. The poster's awesome. The artwork is so damn good in this. I think this is probably Nintendo's best artwork. Nintendo Power's best artwork.
Ninja Gaiden was metal before Xbox. Just remember that, kids.
But yeah, this was my favorite Ninja Gaiden game to play because basically you could clone yourself. You had better powers. You could actually climb up any wall at that time rather than hopping off. It just perfected Ninja Gaiden. Now Ninja Gaiden still I think has a better story to it. Ninja Gaiden 2's story is still decent, but Ninja Gaiden's original story was really good.
Isn't this the one where you find out his girlfriend's a CIA agent?
That's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Second one, you're trying to rescue her from Ashtar, the Emperor of Darkness, which there he is, and that is such awesome artwork of him. And then there's the altar and whatnot. So yeah, can't wait to get to the strategy guide for this because Nintendo Power devotes a whole issue to it. And I remember when it came out, when we were at a Nintendo convention that actually was in. Where was it? It was in Texas at the time. I was able to get a copy of that for about 25 cents. So now they're said these magazines usually sell for like anywhere between $5 to $30. So
oh yeah,
yeah, because now that you know the value of it. So there's the Star Tropics, which is basically the cult classic RPG game, much like Earthbound, which will come later on. But I never got into this game really. It wasn't very appealing to me. And there's Golgo 13, the Moffat Conspiracy, and there's that classic 80s anime there. And there's this M16A1 in his hand, smoking a cigarette in a Nintendo Power. Gotta love it. And having a real rifle. That's what I love about it. Oh, man.
You can actually get that rifle in Fallout New Vegas.
Oh.
Except they just call it the service rifle.
Service rifle.
But fun fact about Golgo 13, it's actually a reference to Golgotha, the place where Jesus was crucified. And I believe this is either the second or the third longest running manga of all time.
Huh.
Just after, I believe, Berserk and Lupin the Third.
Yeah, it's got the same artwork that Lupin has, which is awesome. Here it is. Crystalis.
Yay!
A desperate future faces mankind. For years, you were frozen in a cryogenic cocoon. Now your time has come. So SNK's, and we know what SNK does as well. Fatal Fury.
Yep.
A new futuristic adventure is set in a ravaged Earth where mutant monsters roam free and humans hide in fortified villages. Treasure and danger are hidden in a wide overworld and in many underground levels, but as soon as one's task is complete, an even more demanding quest awaits. So it's great how they have the artwork for the 4 elemental swords there. They look pretty nifty. I really like the way the fire sword's hilt looks. That's pretty cool. And it got straight 4 out of 5s across the board. That's not bad. That's really, really not bad. But I'll be honest with you. This really. I'll kind of talk about this in a moment here, but I love the artwork there, and I love how they have the wise men, like they've got Zebu's in the front, then you got Tornell on the left, Kensu, Tornell's got to be in the back there, or that's more than likely Kensu, but Tornell, because Tornell has the beard, that's right. So Tornell's on the left, Asina's on the right, and then Kensu's in the back there. So in the not so distant future, a terrible war erupts on Earth's consuming civilization in its destructive frenzy. In the aftermath, mutated creatures rule the land. The people who survive build a tower in the sky in which they are safe from the terrors that desolate the planet below. Now that you've been thawed from cryogenic sleep, you must seek the floating tower and learn its secrets. To do that, you'll need the ultimate weapon, sword called Crystalis. So,
in the 80s, didn't DC Comics have a Crystalis comic book? And I believe there was also a toy line. This.
I'll have to look that up there. So here's the story behind this. This is such big nostalgia. So when Dad was stationed at Fort Sam Houston in Texas, we had a video store nearby called Union Video. And I remember we would get Transformers, Robotech, things like that there. And I remember I saw Crystalis, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, I read about this in the Nintendo Power issue with Mega Man 3. They had tips and tricks for it. Let's check this game out. So I remember I got hooked on it instantly. I loved going around and everything. It was. I figured, and I'm going to tell you this. I did a lot of this with. I beat the game without a strategy guide. So basically, that was the cool part about it. So I'm going around. Figuring things out. I remember I was stuck with the insect flute. I'm just like, how the hell, it's like, so how the hell do I do this? I find the insect flute, and then I find this blank area, and I'm like, all right, let's play it. And then the insect queen shows up. It's like, oh, okay. Then I remember, I'm like going around, like I remember I was swimming around on the dolphin in the cave near Portoa, and I was sitting there like, oh, I found a love pendant, okay, and things like that. So I would find these things later by exploring, so this is before the internet and things like that. Then I remember I was stuck at Swan because I was trying to figure out how to get through the gate to get over to Goa and everything. So I'm sitting there the whole time like, what do I do? How do I do this? So then all of a sudden I finally paid attention to what Stom said at long last. I was like, oh, okay, he's in the town. And then if you paralyze people, use paralysis magic, which will come in handy in the next town and everything. It's like, he's somewhere hidden. So I find a soldier talk about, has anybody seen the Great Kensu? Paralyze, that's him. Go to the party house. Thanks, I appreciate everything you've done. Paralyze him. Then I get the magic of change, turn into a guard, and make it through. I remember renting it 3 fucking times, and I just sitting there the whole time trying to figure the damn thing out. Just like the Final Fantasy Adventure game, which is Adventure of Mana, I was trying to figure out how to get into the Oasis Cave, and then I finally figured out going around in a loop around the palm trees. So, basically, after that, beating the game and everything, this just became like my favorite RPG on the Nintendo. Classic game. Love it.
Oh,
and Pikachu, you were going to say something about it?
Oh, yeah. We actually watched Mike Matai play it, and it's a really cool game. I never personally played it, but I did like all of the different mechanics with the different element swords and all this stuff with that. It's a cool game. It has a bunch of little cool little equip items and stuff too.
What did you think of the soundtrack?
Yeah, that was really cool songs.
I love it. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was done.
I love when you go in the fortress, it's like dun 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 dun.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
It's been a little while since we watched it, so
That's
I can't
all
think
good.
of a specific song I liked.
Did you ever play this?
Nah.
Oh.
I didn't have an NES. The only time I got to play these was at my cousin's house, and he wasn't into RPGs.
Oh, I gotcha. So there's the Counselor's Corner, so there's all your tips and tricks for Battle of Olympus and whatnot.
Yep.
And then Willow, how do I get the Spectre spell? The Willow Nintendo game is pretty darn good. For a top-down RPG, it's pretty darn good there. And then there's Iron Sword, how do I get the crown for the dragon so he doesn't breathe fire and get pissed? Then he got the Shadow Gate, yeah, how do I defeat the Hellhound? Oh, that's really simple, use the holy water. What do I do with the King's Throne? I don't know. Yeah, there's like a trap door you gotta go through in there, and that's like, there's a snake in my path, what do I do? Gee, I don't know, use a magic wand and shrink it?
Or you could pray to God and ask him to send St. Patrick down for you.
I was going to say use a flute to make it sleep.
What's funny about Shadowgate is I actually first played it on the Game Boy Advance, so it's kind of funny there. I never played the Nintendo version, but that's what we're going to do, is we're going to play the Nintendo version when we get there. They also redid like Deja Vu on the Game Boy Advance, but they also brought Deja Vu 2 over finally, Ace Harding Lost in Las Vegas. And that was obviously around the time when Vegas was pretty much in development, since it took place in the 40s and early 50s. So gameplay counselor profiles. We've got Mark Coates rocking that awesome 90s mullet. Became a GPC in April of '89. Hobbies include computers, chess, rowing. Highest game score, finished 50. Fell of Nobunaga's Ambition in 17 game years. Favorite NES game, Super Mario 3. Oh yeah, he's already got the bug there. Then there's Thad Krischer, who's became one in March of '89. His hobbies include playing music, writing, hang gliding, and rock climbing. Very cool. Ooh. Highest game score completed by a commando with one hand behind his back, with a score of well over 1 million. That's impressive. Nice. Favorite NES game, the first Mega Man. That's cool. Then you got Paul Reed. He is your stereotypical 90s bearded dude with the mullet.
Neck beard.
Yeah, neck beard. There you go. Became a GPC in April of '89. Hobbies include acting, cartooning, writing, and travel. Cool. Highest game score, solved Ultima. Yeah. Now let me tell you something. Back then, that was a feat in itself. If you weren't really much of a computer gamer, and you started playing a lot of these like ports from the PC to the Nintendo, which, for example, Shadowgate, Deja Vu, and Uninvited are ports from the Amiga and Macintosh, mind you. This is basically, that was an accomplishment for Nintendo. Favorite NES game, Mega Man 2, that's cool. And then Kevin Johnson, he became a GPC in September of '88, so he's the vet there.
Johnson!
Hobbies include weightlifting, biking, sports, very cool. Highest game score, 17,386,427 on Legendary Wings, dang. Favorite NES game, Battle of Olympus. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know you're in the presence of a true nerd when you say, what's your favorite RPG? All your friends say Final Fantasy, and then there's that one asshole who says Ultima. You know you're a true neckbird when it's Ultima. And if they say Zork, then you just automatically show them the door because they're too nerd for you.
So the 1-up frenzy for Mario 3. So this is a lot easier than when trying to build up the 1-ups in Mario, where basically you'd have to get those shells on the staircase and just keep, trying to get in a jumping pattern. And this one, when you're Raccoon Mario, what you can do, and I showed this off in my strategy guide, basically, for level 2 in World 1. What you do is you jump onto a Goomba, and then you just kind of slowly float down, jump onto the next one, keep letting the Goombas come out of the tubes, and eventually your points will rack up, and once you're beyond 8,000, you'll basically keep getting 1-ups and stuff. So it's a great way to rack up 1-ups. I remember discovering that on my own, and I was just like, that's pretty cool. Batman, Baseball Stars, Mega Man 2. So there's all the passwords for Mega Man 2 there, so that's cool. They got Knight Rider there. I can't
let you do that, Michael.
Right?
The Castlevania Adventure Hidden Rooms. Now, the first Castlevania game on the Game Boy, I love, Battle of the Holy. That's a great song.
Ooh, yes.
The intro stage. This was kind of this was a letdown of a game, honestly. It was like too easy and too simplistic. Now, Belmont's Revenge, when that comes out, that was an awesome, awesome game. Great soundtrack, too. Whew. Love Belmont's Revenge. And that's with Christopher Belmont there. So basically, he was the one sandwiched between Trevor and Simon there. So now we got some video shorts. So we got Phantom Fighter there. That's an awesome kind of looking, Big Trouble Little China looking poster there.
Lil Pond is going to shake the pillars of heaven.
Castle the Dragon, Terra Cresta. Never played those, but you can read those if you want to there. There's Snoopy, never got into that. From Kemko Sekai, who basically also did, Deja Vu and Shadowgate and Uninvited, published it. Dusty Diamond's All-Star Softball. Oh, yeah, that looks fun. World Championship Wrestling, WCW. Oh, yeah.
With Hawk and Animal.
Would love that.
Jack Nicklaus, 18 greatest holes in major championship golf, and look at those low scores.
Yep.
Then you got Rollerball, Conflict. Look at that tank and that helicopter. That's cool. Ghostbusters 2, boo.
Yeah.
A fun fact about Ghostbusters 2. My mom used to have a cousin who lived out in California who was a guy who did grip work for movies. He was the head grip man for Sam Raimi on Ghostbusters 2. He also did grip work on Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
You mean Harold Ramis?
Yeah, Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
But yeah, he worked on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Ghostbusters 2. He actually got me a iron-on patch of the Ghostbusters 2 logo.
No kidding.
Cool.
In fact, sadly he's gone now. I think he died of liver failure, either liver or kidney failure years ago. But he's got a kid who's like fucking 9 feet tall. He's a giant. And apparently his daughter had a crush on me when we were kids, which is really starting to learn.
Awkward.
But yeah, he's apparently I heard that Steven Spielberg, I heard this from Mom because she heard it from him, but Steven Spielberg used to get like a separate 18-wheeler Mack truck, just loaded up with pizza and shit, and have the grip, the lighting and electrical guys riding that, so that they wouldn't bother anyone else, because apparently they like to get really drunk. So yeah, fun Hollywood facts with Ardith Asshole.
Yeah, and, it's just, I mean, you'd be surprised at a lot of the behind the scenes lives people have out there.
Remember, kids, if you've heard a rumor about Hollywood, it's probably worse.
Yeah, no kidding. Double Dare, that was a fun show to watch on Nickelodeon. Dare,
Yep.
Double Dare, Physical Challenge, okay. They got Kid Cool and stuff, so a bunch of games that never played there. Well, I played Ghostbusters 2, but fuck that game. Anyway, the best Ghostbusters game is the one that came on the PC, hands down.
Yeah.
I had that.
Oh, love that game. I still have that game there. So here we go. NES Achievers. So Tom Sawyer, Hampton, Virginia. Oh boy. Let's see. Armagon, Bad Dudes. Got Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. That's
no.
that's the game that my dad beat. That's the only Nintendo game my dad has beaten. So there you go. There.
Are you a
Fun
bad
fact.
enough dude to rescue the president?
Then you got Casino Kid. Then you got Clash at Demon Head. And then you got Cobra Triangle, Defender of the Crown, Disney's DuckTales.
Ooh.
Whoa, 19 million bucks.
Damn.
And from Dallas, Texas, Galaga, Godzilla,
Gojira!
Gradius, then Gyrus, and then Iron Sword. Let's see, Magmax, and then you got Millipede. Oh, that's cool. Monster Party, yeah. I don't see any Arizonas so far. That's a drag. A lot of people just hate Arizona.
Yep.
Ninja Gaiden, yeah, a lot of people maxed out their points there. Man, oh man. Then there's Nobunaga's Ambition.
Wow, look at that. 2 people from California finished Nobunaga's
Or
Ambition.
Nobunaga, yeah, I said it right the first time. Okay. Operation Wolf.
Ooh.
And they got Platoon, POW, that's an awesome game. Rampage.
Holy shit, 41 million!
On Rampage, I know.
And in New York, no less.
No kidding. Then you got Renegade, Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Then there's Shadowgate. Everybody finished across the board there. Super Mario Land, that's on the Game Boy. Staten Island, wow. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, boy, they've got over 9 million there. They got Tetris, and then you got Tetris on the Game Boy, then Tetris on the Nintendo. Tetris on the Game Boy was way better.
Yep.
Then you got, there we go, Scottsdale, Arizona. There's an Arizona homie. They got the Guardian Legend, Three Stooges, Uncle Fester's Quest. Had a great soundtrack, but lousy game, and then Willow.
You know what's crazy about
There's
Tetris?
Las Vegas, Nevada, huh?
You know what's crazy about Tetris? One of the Hololive girls, the sociopath who's really good at singing Suisei, apparently she's invincible at Tetris. She beats the crap out of all the other Hololive girls at it. Seriously, you should watch her just like send Pekora or some of the other girls into crying fits when she curb stomps them.
Nintendo Power visits Boeing flight simulators. Check out these great graphics. Yeah, that's not bad for that time though. But yeah, that's pretty cool that, this is how Pilot Wings started coming about, basically, before the Super Nintendo was there. So a lot of them were just kind of visiting that and checking into that. Big news for comics fans. So there's the Nintendo Comics system from Valiant Comics.
I used to have a couple of those.
Me
They
too.
were hot trash.
I loved them. I loved it. Like Captain N, like the comic book version was like way better than like the show. Like the show was fun, but the comic was like super serious, and like Samus was in it, and Samus was fighting for for Kevin's affection with Lana, which was pretty cool.
That was cool, but I have to admit, now that we know we have better options like the Legend of Zelda manga,
Right. Well, when you're a kid, basically. I remember when we were at the Post Exchange, or PX as they call it, at the Defense Depot in Memphis. My brother and I always loved going to like the little comic section to these and to read them and everything. And sometimes Mom and Dad would buy them for us. But I remember Dad would be taking some care of some things, and then we'd be getting like our military haircuts at the barber shop there, and then we'd be like glued to the Nintendo comics. And then what was really cool was seeing like all the other army dudes that were hanging around like reading as well, like they were reading them, and it was just great to see adults into like the Nintendo craze and everything of that nature. Now my folks never got into it, basically because obviously when you're in the boomer generation and everything, there's a few people that dig it, but that's why I'm glad I was born in the early 80s. I'll tell you that. It was a great time to be alive.
You know what's crazy? back in the 90s, when I lived at Cardinal in Valencia out by the San Javier Mission, they have a swap meet over there called the Westover, and there was a lady there who, for a quarter, you could rent her a NES and play it on site. She would let you choose like any of the games she had, and a quarter, I think, at the time would get you like maybe 15, 20 minutes on your game of choice. And she also had like a bunch of long boxes full of old comics. And you might think Nintendo was the first one to do comics for their system, but they weren't. It was Atari. Atari had an entire Marvel comic, I believe, called Atari Force. Piece of crap, by the way, but you might run across an issue or two at your local comic shop.
Very cool there.
And another weird fact, the guy who founded Apple Computer, Steve Wozniak, was the guy who ran Atari.
That's true. Yep, that is very true there. So I'll read this real quick. So the further adventures of Mario and Luigi are on the horizon. No, we're not gossiping about Super Mario 4. We're talking about the Super Mario Brother comic book. Voyager Comics Inc., a new comic book company, has recently begun production of comic books based not only on the cast of the Super Mario Brothers series, but their favorite Nintendo games and characters like The Legend of Zelda, Captain N, Metroid, Kid Icarus, and Punch-Out! All these titles will be presented under Voyager's comics imprint, Valiant. We asked Jim Shooter, president of Valiant, about what to look forward to in the next Nintendo or new Nintendo series. Our goal for the Nintendo titles is to make comics that are clear and accessible to everyone, including those who aren't even avid comic readers. That's for damn sure. Jim said, "We're trying a very straightforward art style, sticking with conventions that are well known. Our stories will be interesting and entertaining as possible. Valiant's Nintendo titles will explore areas of Mario and Luigi's personalities that are not seen in the games," which is awesome. We're going to go beyond the games to present the characters with human concerns and conflicts. Among other things, we plan on exploring what makes these characters different, funny, and exciting. And I thought it was really cool that they did that there, Jim commented. With Mario and Luigi in the starring roles, the results are what you'd imagine, both entertaining and humorous. Valiant's comics will be available wherever toys are sold, at most World and Nintendo outlets, comic book specialty shops, by subscription. Some titles such as Super Mario Bros. Special Edition number 1, Nintendo Comics System, and Super Mario Bros. number 1 have already been released and should be available in stores near you in May. Captain N, Game Master 1, and The Legend of Zelda 1 will be added to the Valiant's monthly roster. Future titles based on other games and characters in the works. For more information, now visit Valiant Comic on the new Valiant comic books to. So yeah, this is before the internet. Basically, you don't have to write postcards like, "What's coming? Tell me, Daddy."
Yeah. And by the way, the reason why Jim Shooter became basically the head of Valiant was because he got in a little bit of a tiff with Marvel. Yeah, Marvel had a nasty habit of kicking some of their best talent out. Jim Shooter, Joe Quesada, a lot of guys. What was that one guy? Jack Kirby, for instance. They pissed off Jack Kirby so hard he went to DC and basically made copies of his Marvel properties for them.
I mean, it makes sense too. I mean, basically, when you have great talent and everything. I mean, it's funny because, like, if you look at, it's funny you bring that up. So you look at, like, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh wow, he was a former Konami guy. Now look at what he's created, basically a masterpiece with its own, like, different lore and everything of that nature. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Have you beaten it yet?
Oh, I love that fucking game so much. Kojima killed Castlevania, so Igarashi brought it back from the dead and made it stronger than ever.
Oh yeah. I mean, God, I get it's a different kind of look on it. It just takes too many liberties. But anyway, so you got the Nintendo World Class Service there. We're always going to be there for you, Sonny.
Yeah, Miriam met D, and I'm wondering if I can get him to give her the D.
God, look at that outfit, that Mario outfit there. That is so freaking late 80s, early 90s. Holy cow.
Not to mention that Huey Lewis in the News blazer jacket that guy's rocking there.
Oh yeah, Willie Arms from Charles in Charge, yeah. So basically, Out of This World Munchies. Who says food can't be fun? When you taste these marvelous munchies, you'll be on top of the world. Each has received the Nintendo seal of quality, too, ensuring that you only get the best ingredients and taste. Stock up for parties, lunches, snacks, and picnics wherever you see these items available. Nintendo cereal system. God, I loved Nintendo cereal. Like getting the Zelda ones where they have like the swords, the hearts, and shapes. I mean, it was just pure. It was like, you know how they like in Rugrats they got the Reptar cereal like rehydrated cardboard. That's practically. I wouldn't be surprised if that was an ingredient in Nintendo cereal. But when you're a fucking kid, you don't give a shit.
You know that cereal in Calvin and Hobbes, frosted
chocolate frosted sugar bombs. Yeah,
that's in Fallout.
You
can actually find boxes of sugar bombs in Fallout.
Awesome. So what they would do, what they would do with that is really awesome. What they would do with cereal boxes like this is they would basically divide it into two Nintendo games. Like one would be Mario and one would be Zelda, and they would come in half bags. And then so like my brother and I, we would take turns like having which cereal we wanted. Now it all tastes the same, but when you're a kid, you're just like, I want to eat the different shapes and everything. Oh, I'm so cool and everything like that. So it's just great. Then the Nintendo fruit snacks like Mario and Link, I remember those. We were talking about like the dinosaurs and the jets and everything, but yeah, the Nintendo fruit snacks were really awesome there. Then you got the Nintendo ice cream sandwiches. Like I think they had one that was shaped like a fire flower and stuff like that. They had they had the Mario Brothers candy bars. I never had one of those.
I didn't even know those existed.
I know. And then the all natural juicer. It's like, made with it's like all natural juices and stuff. So it's like 4 fresh and nutrition or natural flavors that come in a handy box. So basically, probably my favorite juice box was the Ecto Cooler from the Ghostbusters. The slider.
Yes.
It was just basically, it was a green colored drink that tasted like orange. That's what it really was from High C. I love those.
Yeah, it was extra ripe Tang in a box.
Oh yeah, God, it's so awesome. I remember those days. You get a sandwich, then you get some chips, or you get some your mom would make you a sandwich. I had a DuckTales lunchbox, which was awesome, and Scrooge was driving this big wheel, like this monster truck, and when you're a kid, fucking love monster trucks, love to go see Bigfoot over at the Coliseum or stuff. So you got like the you've got like the sandwich, then you get like chips or pretzels or nuts or like fruit, like something. I'd get like an apple, and then like you would get like an Ecto Cooler or like one of those little bottle drinks that were just like basically just crap processed sugar water, like Mondo or whatever the fuck it was. Oh, those are the days.
When I was in elementary school, I was so tiny and so skinny that I would get breakfast at home, I would go to school, I would be so skinny that they would think I hadn't eaten, so they just gave me free breakfast and lunch. And one day they call up my mom, it's like, Mrs. Bay, we're concerned that your son might not be getting enough to eat, so we've automatically signed him up for free breakfast and lunch at our school. And she's like, what? He's eating me at the house? No, over here, he eats just fine.
He's lying. But yeah, basically it's cool when you see like these early 90s celebrities just, playing these games. I loved reading the Jay Leno one, which is great. So then we got these pack watches and everything. Boy, that's a total anime series or title there. Holy cow.
Yeah, be careful not to eat the worm in the vodka bottle. Otherwise you might have to fight it on your Nintendo.
Isolated Warrior, that looks like an arcade game. That's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Shock Troopers almost. They got Low G Man.
I played that. That was fun as shit.
There's Castlevania 3. The excitement's starting to build for Castlevania 3. Many of you have gotten a sneak peek at the prototype version of the game with the Power Walk of Nintendo World Championships. Castlevania 3's gameplay harkens back to the original Castlevania game, but new, tough enemies block Simon's progress through exquisitely ghoulish surroundings, graveyards, ghost ships, and haunted castles. And when you know it, that pesky evil dude Dracula is the ultimate source of Simon's headaches again. Fans of Simon Bam, get ready. Castlevania 3 should be creeping its way to your local Nintendo retailer sometime this summer. And then you find out it's Trevor.
Yep.
Then from Kemco Seikai, so we got some stuff coming there. 3 from Sammy, Packwatch, and then from Iram. I love how that little slime's talking there. The developers of Dragon Warrior are forming an American division to release Dragon Warrior 2. Rumor has it that this one will be a much larger world to explore than the original. It allows you to control a 3-character party. So what's cool about Dragon Quest 2 is that it basically does have the descendants of Lodo, Erdrick in the Nintendo, but the descendants of Lodo basically spread out across the realm. And what's awesome is that one of the areas is actually it's like a shrunken down version of Alfgard, but then the rest of it is basically this huge world that you explore. And Moonbrook gets ransacked by an evil wizard named Hargon in it, and basically the Prince of Middenhall joins up with 2 other royalty to go around and figure out what's going on and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Or wait, it was Lindalosa. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm thinking the Nintendo names. So. High-tech expressions, there's Big Bird, Mindscape, FCI, Gossip Galore, so USMC Harrier Jet Flight Simulator, Pipe Dream, Pipe Dream, that became another cult action hit. NES Play Action Football, that's the isometric one. And Dragonlance, I love that little dragon, Dungeon Dragons corner there. And then Swords and Serpents, that was a first-person kind of like Might and Magic style RPG on the Nintendo there. So, yep.
Damn, Bird, I think I took some bad stuff. I'm starting to hallucinate shitty Sesame Street games, Bird.
So, Super Mario 3 Strategy Guide on the way. So, the next issue that we're going to be going over is going to be the Mario 3 Strategy Guide. So, we're going to open that up. That'll probably be a shorter video, but we're going to open that up and let you guys, read through it. It's really fun. I used to own a physical copy of that, too. Ninja Gaiden 2 is going to be on the way. The Power, then Final Fantasy Guide, and then they have like a 4-player one where it's like, meh, forget it. So basically, we've got all that good stuff there. So next issue, the strategy guide for Mario 3, and then future stuff, Final Fantasy, the Malfat Conspiracy, Chrysalis, Mutants, Magical Swords, and Lost Technology. This is a world of the Zelda-like adventure game, Chrysalis, and its large world with many items to find, so look for some hot pointers in our review. So here's Howard Phillips here at the end. So, dear readers, there's big excitement here at Nintendo Power. We're going monthly. Instead of waiting 2 months between issues, we're now presenting power-packed NES tips and info every month. The regular issue of Nintendo Power will still contain over 100 pages of top game tips and other insider information, and will appear in your mailbox every other month. But the other months, you'll get Nintendo Power Strategy Guide that will give you super detailed coverage on the single hit game. So they only did this for 4 issues, just to let you know. We're pretty excited about the whole thing, and we think that you too will be, especially since it's free with your subscription. In June, look for Super Mario Bros. 3, your first Strategy Guide edition. I wish they never stopped that, because they put awesome artwork in, tons of maps. I mean, it was just really cool to watch. The Ninja Gaiden 2 one's the fucking hands down best. I've been spending a lot of time recently helping to plan the Nintendo World Championships 1990, which Angry Video Game Nerd was, desperately looking for a gold cartridge of that. By the time you read this, tutorial will have started, and hopefully I've met some of you in person. I wish I could visit every stop of the tour. Be sure to let us know what you think about the NWC. Your comments are invaluable to planning future events. Well, gotta go. We'll see you next month for the first Nintendo Power Strategy Guide featuring Super Mario Bros. 3. Don't miss it. Howard Phillips. Players Poll, Total Recall, we make the impossible possible, grand prize, win an ultimate fantasy trip to Hollywood, including meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger on the set of his next movie, a video session on the set so you can experience the total recall of your trip, an actual Martian police uniform used in the filming of the movie Total Recall, 3 days and 2 nights in Hollywood, California, acclaims action-packed NES game pack based on the movie Total Recall, no thank you.
Yeah.
So, God, whoever got to meet Arnold in his prime, you lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, before he terminated his own legacy in his movie franchises.
Right. So basically you could see you get some patches there and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. So then they got the little packs at the end there. There's the Nintendo World Championships 1990, And there's another Final Fantasy in the back. So that's it for issue 12. So next time we're going to be looking at the Super Mario Bros. 3 strategy guide, which I can't wait to check out. That was actually my very first issue of Nintendo Power I ever got, which is cool. And then basically we'll keep going, with the other issues. I can't wait for issue 20, because issue 20 is going to be the Mega Man 3 issue, which is the very first regular issue of Nintendo Power I ever got. And that's how I got hooked on Deja Vu, and I'll have a story for that. So anyway, this was really fun. It was great to just talk about things and have our guest aboard. Any closing thoughts, Ardith?
Yeah, it looks like Pikachu lost a fight with a Hypno tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. Any other thoughts, Pikachu?
No. Sorry.
So
yeah, somebody use an anti-sleep on her.
It's super effective. So we're gonna go and try to find that video of that Final Fantasy little adventure grand prize. So in the meantime, this is Gray Fox 37.
Pikachu 23.
Tentacle Lover 76.
And you guys have a great night.